inside my car. On the expressway to your heart.
All right, it's the Auto Show back. You can catch it every week at the same time. Chip Lyness along with Louie Herron from Louie Herron Toyota. Remember to go to theautoschool.com, and we're talking about 4 common mistakes when buying a car, Louie.
Yeah, you know, when you think about making a mistake, what does that do for you? When you think about it, to me, the isolation of making a mistake obviously means you run the risk of wasting some money, some valuable money with this economy that nobody can afford to mess up. And again, there's a couple of ways. Obviously, up front when you buy the car, you could make a mistake and lose money there. But then also, if you're not in tune with what's going on, you could also lose money, Chip, when you trade the car in. 2, 3, 4 years from now, not knowing what you got into, not knowing how the deal was structured, maybe buying a vehicle with the depreciation not what it needed to be, and again, you could also lose money in the financing. We talk about the finance rates, we talk about what's available. So again, we want to put you in a position where you have some worry-free buying. You know, if you think about it, you know, are you scared, Chip? Do you think when people are going to buy a house, you get a scared feeling? You know, maybe a mortgage. You know, not knowing the documents and what all it means. I mean, really and truly, I mean, man, with my wife used to write mortgages and is very, very well versed in that. And when we buy our houses, I mean, she looks at all that paperwork. I'm not well versed in that stuff, you know. Right. But if I didn't have her, I need to do some research to make sure that you know what all the fees are and what can be waived and negotiated. So I think it's important. Let's get into mistake number 1 before we get to a break. Not understanding what market value is on your trade. So tell me what you're thinking on what you think I'm referring to, Chip, on that. Not understanding what market value is on your trade. How is that a mistake?
Well, if you trade your car, you might not get what it's worth.
That's a good point. That's exactly right. And again, so understanding what market value. Here's what I think is important. You may not realize this, but 60% of all car deals are missed because of the trade-in.
Wow.
In a dealership, we track a lot of stuff, and one of the things we track is how many deals we appraise and we capture, how many deals we appraise and we miss, how many car deals that had a trade that we didn't make, deals without a trade that we make or miss. I mean, these are important factors that you got to look at. 60% of the deals are missed because of trade, so you have to understand why that's so important of understanding what market value really is. Here's the big crux of that deal. If you don't know what market value is, a couple things can happen. Number 1, you could walk out of a dedealership and really getting a pretty good deal on your car and not know it because you think it's not enough. Mm-hmm. Or if you don't know what market value is, you could walk into a dealership and maybe leave $1,000 on the table because maybe it's worth a little more than you thought it was. So it's very, very important for you to realize as the buyer, understanding what market value really is. I mean, and again, if you think about it, a good rule of thumb that I always direct people to is theautoschool.com, but on there is a link of Kelley Blue Book. Now, Kelley Blue Book, we talked about, if you remember, let's take a little quiz, Chip. When you're going to Kelley Blue Book and you're looking at your trade, what do you always look at? What's the word that we're looking for on trade-in?
It's not private party. You're looking for deal or trade-in.
Trade-in, right? Yeah. When you go to KBB or Kelley Blue Book, they're going to give you excellent condition, good condition, fair condition, or poor.
Yep. You want fair, right?
You want fair. Now, when I say that, again, I'm not saying that you want fair because you're going to get fair. What I'm talking about is setting the expectation, knowing where you're at on the trade-in, understanding what the market value really is. Now, KBB is not the tell-all, be-all source. Remember, there are over 100 different sites you can go to get a trade evaluation.
I got you.
To find out what your car's worth. All 100 are going to be different.
I got you.
You're not going to get the same figure. And what a car is worth, whatever a dealer or whatever the buyer is willing to put on it. So if you sell your car outright, the car's worth what they're willing to pay for it. Mm-hmm. So if you see that the car is worth $10,000 average or fair market value, that's the fair market value, $10,000, you want to start there. If good is 11 and excellent is 12 and you think you have an excellent car, I'm not saying you don't go in and start and ask for excellent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, Chip?
Yeah.
You know, but realize if they give you 10.3, you don't want to put your feet in the cement and think, nope, that's not good enough for me. I'm leaving. Okay, because if you've done some research, you'll know kind of what that car is. It's very, very important. Also, if you look at insurance companies, another good resource is when you have a collision or a total loss, the insurance company will cut you a check, right? And they'll give you market value. And when you look at that scenario, customers have to realize, when you go to a dealership, you're not going to get retail value for that car. The dealership's going to take the car in on trade. They're going to clean it up. They're going to run it through the service department. They're going to spend another $600 to $800 on it. That's if it doesn't need anything major. And they're going to try to get retail for it.
Right.
Now, remember, when they put $10,000 in the car, 3 months from now, the book on that car may be worth $8,200. But remember, we took it in for 10, and we added $700-800 to clean it, fix it, do whatever we have to do. Now we own the car for almost $11,000, but if we don't sell it in 90 days, the car's worth $8,200.
I see.
So we got to get rid of it, and we'll take a loss. Now, a lot of people say, well, you're going to make money on my trade, and you're making money on the car. Well, those things are true. We want to make money on the trade, and we want to make money on the car. None of that is wrong. But keep in mind, when we take in trade-ins, again, when we talk about statistics, we sell 50% of our trade-ins, which is a decent number. But there's 50% of the trade-ins we don't sell,
Right.
which means we have negative equity on your trade-in that we traded for 60 days ago.
I see.
So we take the loss. A lot of people say, well, listen, I want 12 because you're going to make money on my car. Well, yeah, we hope to. But we could lose $1,500 on your car.
Right.
Even if you have a nice, good, clean car, it may not be the right market for that car.
Right. And you've got overhead to keep up. You've got salespeople to pay. You've got rent to pay. You've got light bills to pay.
Advertising, all that stuff. With Chip Lyness on the Doc 103.9, right?
It's not much, but yes.
Yeah, I hear you. To you. So again, I think it's important that you realize the rule of thumb, fair market value. That'll set up what your trade is really worth. Again, don't put your feet in the cement. Don't take that as the gospel, but it's a good starting point.
Yep. And doesn't it go the other way sometimes, Louie? They give you $5,000 more than your trade's worth,
Sure.
and you're feeling really good about it, but that's not really the real figure.
That's not the figure. And when we come back, we'll talk about over allowance and how they can confuse you. Because I don't want people, when we talk about 60% of our deals that we missed are on trade-ins, this is where it gets sticky. You want to stay tuned because I'm going to give you some information that will shed some light on how these trades are done and why these deals are missed.
All right, very good. Thank you, Louie. And we appreciate you listening to the Auto Show every week at this time. We've got more tips. We don't want you to make a mistake when buying a car. We'll save you money. Keep it tuned to Doc 103.9. We've got the weather coming up and more of your favorites next. Auto Show moves on, Doc 103.9.